All right, let's talk Dallas Cowboys. It's been a good offseason so far for Dallas. As much as the haters and the Debbie Downers and the people that always want to be negative are saying, oh, what's going to go wrong? Everything's going to collapse. It's been a really good football sound X's and O's offseason for the Cowboys. And that momentum is continuing, folks, with this recent news. It's still early, right? So we're going to temper our excitement a little bit. But I tell you what, there is legit momentum building in Dallas. We'll get to this latest report in just 1 second. But first, I'm Nick, that's Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, the Dallas Cowboys, again, making a lot of football sound moves, making a lot of smart, savvy moves for the first time in what feels like forever this offseason. Even if they didn't look great at first, like the Schottenheimer hire, once all the details come out and the follow-on moves get made, it looks really good for Dallas. And we're seeing that momentum continue. And a good example of that is now over the past week or so, or within the past couple of days, voluntary workouts have started for teams with new head coaches, new coaching staffs, right? The NFL allows teams that have new staffs to start voluntary workouts before the draft. Other teams have to wait till a little bit later. So the Dallas Cowboys, obviously new coaching staff, they're starting volunteer workouts, and a name that a lot of people did not expect to show up has. Let's pull up this report here. It's a quick tweet. According to Clarence Hill Jr., good reporter covering the Cowboys, he tweeted, per source, Micah Parsons is at the Cowboys voluntary workouts. All right, so right there, we're looking at 9 words, I believe, in that tweet. And I tell you what, that means a lot. Micah Parsons, of course, big-time contract negotiations with the Dallas Cowboys leadership. They're going to give him a long-term deal. There's been already some conversations ahead of the game, which we've covered a lot. But there's 2 facts to this I really like. Number one, the fact that Micah Parsons is there to me means there's some communication, there's some dialogue. He believes the deal's going to get done. It's not going to drag out like we've seen with Prescott and with Ezekiel Elliott in the past, CeeDee Lamb in the past. Looks like that way of negotiation for the Cowboys is behind them. They're being ahead of the game here, proactive. That's one half of the takeaway. In the other half, folks, and I think this is what gets me really excited, is that we're finally seeing Micah Parsons take over as the leader of this team. DeMarcus Lawrence, Zach Martin, right? They're gone, right? They were kind of the guys in the trenches. They were the leaders, right? They were the guys the glue that kept the team together. They were the focal points. That era is over. A lot of winning, don't get me wrong, in the regular season during that era for Dallas, but now it's Micah Parsons' time. Micah Parsons is the best football player to play for Dallas since Deion Sanders in the 1990s, right? I think, to be fair, I mean, look, DeMarcus Ware was great, and he's phenomenal, not taking anything away from there, but as a dominant force, Parsons is better right now. Currently sits. We'll have to see length of the career. We can judge it then. But the reality is Micah Parsons is a top 8, top 7 player in the National Football League. And he's been that way since the first day he showed up and played against Tampa Bay, since his first sack week 2 of 2021 against Justin Herbert in Los Angeles. It is now, though, officially his team, and he's taking over the leadership mantle. This is a great sign for Dallas. And again, another indicator of continuing positive momentum for the Cowboys. It's early, but as we're seeing more and more momentum build, I tell you what, folks, it's getting harder and harder not to get excited about the future of this Dallas team as we get closer to the draft. All right, Mize, that's enough from me about this. But first, before we hand it over to you, Cowboys fans, in the comment section below, what do you think about Micah Parsons taking over as the leader of this team? I think it's undeniable that he's become that at this point. Do you love it, right? Do you hate it? Do you wish somebody else would be the leader? Or you kind of, who cares? Give us your thoughts on Micah Parsons and the leadership on this team. Put it in the comment section below. Really curious to hear from you guys. But Mize, over to you now. What are your thoughts on this latest news out of Dallas?
Yeah, and I think when we hear about Micah Parsons, what I would have expected in the past, not with this new regime, because we've talked about it ad nauseum. There's a lot of stuff going on that's much, much different about this team now. But in the past, I would expect it to be more of the, TJ Watt-esque style of negotiations where, there it seems like not everything's adding up over in Pittsburgh. TJ Watt's getting frustrated. They post the cryptic tweets of him sending the peace sign to Pittsburgh, whatever the case is, just little stuff like that. And, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but I don't really think we've heard too much negativity out of either camp this offseason as far as coming to the table. It was more like, hey, we're going to come to the table. We're having productive talks. Things are going to go. Then Micah Parsons, we don't hear anything negative out of him, shows up at voluntary workouts, something that is notorious for people who are having contract disputes to skip that part of the workout season. Like you said, shows growth on both sides. I think, Jerry Jones and this whole staff that they've built, this executive office has really just amped things up. They've become really more drawn towards the players, say, hey, let's not drag things out. Let's get it done. I think the players are noticing it. And it's like you said, I think Parsons, he's definitely taken, in my opinion, that next step as the leader of this team. Showing up at voluntary workouts when you don't have, your deal done yet. Shows, hey, this is what's acceptable for this team now. We got to put in the work. We got to get things done. I'm the like you said, this is the best player to play for Dallas in a long, long time, 2-3 decades. It's been a long time coming that we've seen a player as talented as Parsons. He says, if I'm not missing voluntary workouts for a deal, you shouldn't be either. He's taken that leadership stance, whether it's quiet or not. And I think, like you said, this is a great sign for the Cowboys going forward. And I think this is the time. Feels like a team that's under the radar, but this feels like a team that with this new leadership, with this new approach to football that we've seen, that this is a team that's going to go from, like you said, a lot of winning in the regular season to maybe now we carry a little bit over to the postseason as well. I really like what's going on here in Dallas, and I really like the new kind of front office, the new relationships with the players, and how everything has progressed in that aspect.
Yeah, and just one final point to end on here. I think it's really important, right? The Cowboys, if you're a person in the media, if you're ESPN or NBC Sports or Yahoo Sports or whatever, NFL Network, you just want drama. You're just itching for it. You're jonesing for it. But the Cowboys have been kind of drama-free. They've been boring for most of this offseason. It's gotten so boring for the Cowboys, and I absolutely love it, is that you look at NBC Sports, Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio had a report. I'm not against Florio here, by the way. He's a great reporter, great website, big fan of what he does. Recommend his book. It's awesome, right? Not dissing on Florio here. But my point is, when he reported on this Parsons coming into camp, he basically ended his report saying, well, maybe he'll hold out later, right? Maybe he'll hold out later. That means the media, they're jonesing for drama, but the Cowboys aren't giving them, right? The media's like, well, maybe there'll be drama later. Maybe there'll be holdouts later. Maybe there'll be chaos later. But so far, folks, it ain't happening. There is a real chance we've seen a turnover in the Cowboys. They may finally be a boring football-focused franchise for the first time in who knows how long. Again, there's still a lot of offseason left, and you got that wild card running the team in Jerry Jones. We all understand that. But I tell you what, folks, the more evidence we see, data point after data point after data point, coaching staff, filling out the assistants, free agents, some trades, negotiations, every single move they make is indicating the Cowboys are becoming a boring football-focused team. And if they do that, watch out, folks. We may finally start to see long-term postseason success, deep playoff runs in Dallas.